यत करोषि यत अश्नासि यत जुहोषि ददासि यत यत तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत् कुरुष्व मत अर्पणम. So he says, Krishna is saying, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you pray, whatever यज्ञ करते हो, कुछ भी तपस्या करो, सब कुछ मेरे को दे दो. Do it for me. What does it mean now? I mean, I always think how to make sense of this. We are all karma yogis. We are not sannyasis. How do we make sense of these things in कर्म? कर्म भूमि है, सब अपना काम कर रहे हैं, फैमिली है, जॉब है, सब कुछ है, सारी प्रॉब्लम्स है लाइफ, कैसे कैसे सब क्या मतलब है कि अर्पण कर दो मुझे, राइट? देयर आर मल्टीपल वेज ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट. वन इज दैट यू नो सबकी अंतरात्मा में भगवान है, तो हर जीव में भगवान है. सो मद अर्पण मतलब यू अर्पण टू द सोसाइटी, यू ऑफर इट टू द सोसाइटी, टू द ग्रेटर गुड. आप स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी के लिए त्याग कर रहे हैं अपने समय का और उन्हें पढ़ा रहे हैं. I will give my time for the students so they become better people. You offer to them. Right? Now, this is not about making everything religious, but it is about bringing a spirit of offering for any activity that you have. Right? So, yeah, whatever you are doing for Krishna. In my view, Krishna is just another name. You could put Paramatma, you could put Ram, you could put Shiv, you could put anything that you strongly believe in. What does it mean? Um, in a family, the children, whatever they are doing it. मम्मी ने बोला है, पापा ने बोला है, कर रहे हैं, कोई टेंशन नहीं है, फुल फेथ है मम्मी पापा पे, शाम को खाना भी मिलेगा, राइट? सो द द द द काम वे विच इन विच ठंडे दिमाग से दे कैन डू. मम्मी ने बोला इसलिए कर रहे हैं, सो समबडी सेड टू डू इट. खुद करने को बोल तो नहीं होगा. कमरा अपने आप से ठीक नहीं कर रहा बच्चा, राइट? होमवर्क अपने आप से नहीं कर रहा, फिर पापा ने बोल दिया होमवर्क कर लो, होमवर्क कर लिया. दैट बिकम्स इजी. Initially in the job also, a lot of times it happens, you tell somebody do this, then they will do it, otherwise they don't know what to do. So he says, Krishna says, if you don't know what to do, क्या करूं क्या नहीं करूं, वो सब टेंशन छोड़ दो. Do it for me, just offer it to me. Okay, fine, Krishna said do this, I'm doing this, I have no tension, like that. So that is what it means ki all your work you dedicate for the greater good in whatever way you think. Bhakti hai to कृष्ण के नाम पे, राम के नाम पे कर दिया, नॉट दैट सोसाइटी के नाम पे कर दिया, स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी के नाम पे कर दिया, वॉट एवर, बिगर गुड, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल पार्ट ऑफ इट. So seeing inaction in action, we saw that karmani akarma yah pashyet. Then finding the inner peace even when you're fully engaged in the duties. This is very important. You are fully engaged, you're not sleeping. You are doing your job, karma, with full engagement, full effort, full consciousness, but still you are very peaceful inside. When you are peaceful inside, whether your boss is scolding you, whether your reportees are not doing proper work or whatever, you are not angry, you're not perturbed, you are calmly seeing what needs to be done, what is missing, what needs to be done. So you do that. The job gets done better. You will reply to your boss better without getting angry or whatever. You will do better interaction with your students if you don't get, "Hey, तुझे तो कुछ नहीं आता, what is this?" Oh, okay, everybody has a different level. So you dispassionately give the advice, give the gyan, give the teaching, and that's all you can do. For example, and the reason I take this surgeon example is because that's a life and death situation, right? It's not that दो नंबर कम आ गए तो क्या हो गया, पास तो हो गया type. So they have to remain calm even if it is a complicated operation. Okay? They have to make quick decisions because obviously they've done the surgeries, but sometimes it might happen that there is a real time reaction time required. You can't say कल देख लेंगे, right? It's not even कि घंटे भर बाद देख लेंगे. You have to do it in within minute or seconds or whatever, and they have to do it precisely. Right? I'm not talking about some dermatologist or some general physician or some surgeon. Operation चल रहा है. Imagine if they panic. Maybe they opened somebody up and they found something new. Now what? If they panic, अरे ये तो कभी देखा नहीं, प्रॉब्लम हो गया. Or if they stay calm and they say, okay, fine, अब इतना सब पढ़ा है, 50 ऑपरेशन करे हैं पहले, what have I learned, what is this, what can I do? being calm, they will be able to do it better. There is no other way of doing work without being calm. You just have to remain calm. Whatever helps you remain calm, that are the paths of yoga. So you can surrender to Bhagavan, you can be all this jnani, you can all do this karma with this passion, whatever brings you. Ultimate goal is samatvam yoga uchyate. So we are not talking about adding more obligations to life, like karma yoga. I'll do more. I'll do more. I'll do more. Give me, give me, give me. I'll teach 100 classes in 1 week. That is not karma yoga. Quantity of karma is not karma yoga. Okay, quality and how you approach, that is karma yoga. So discovering how to engage with karma with our natural roles. Natural role is again important. Somebody who doesn't like to talk, how can they become teacher? So they should pick something else. So based on our inner pravritti, we should choose roles. Then we engage it properly. Then duty becomes less about what we do and more about how we do. Right? So duties are not to bear burdens to bear. They should be opportunities to grow. काम तो करना है, तो अच्छा भी कर लेंगे और किसी का भला भी कर लेते हैं। तनख्वाह तो वैसे भी मिल रही है, आप कम काम करो चाहे ज़्यादा काम करो, तनख्वाह तो मिलेगी। अच्छा ही कर रहे हैं तो खुद को भी अच्छा लगेगा, देखो मेरे कारण 4 लोगों का भला हो गया, राइट? सो दैट वे। नाउ द रिस्पांसिबिलिटी पार्ट। So we said duty comes with the role, it is clearly defined and it must be done. Responsibility is how you respond, your ability to respond to the duty. That is the responsibility. Now, responsibility can be in different ways. So, because it is personal life and work life and all these things are involved. Uddharet atmana atmanam, na atmanam avasadayet. Atma eva hi atmano bandhu, atma eva ripuh atmana. Very, very beautiful. So it says that you should uplift yourself by yourself. Okay? And never avasadayet, never feel depressed, never drown yourself. So it's like sinking and coming up. So if you're in water, one is sinking, drowning, and that is swimming up. So ut haret, to pull up. Uddhar, uddhar ho gaya, uddhar ho gaya. So that is the word. Uddharet, ut haret, pull up. You should pull yourself up and not pull yourself down. Atma eva hi atmanah bandhu. You are your best friend and you are your worst enemy. Atma eva ripu atmanah. What does it mean? Which you are the best friend, which you are the worst enemy? That's the question, right? Right. Is also our capacity to respond to the situations that we have. We sometimes feel miserable, oh, I'm helpless, and this and that, and we hear in newspapers also. Sometimes people take the extreme step because of extreme depression or situations or whatever. One who has controlled their atma, nigrah, indriya nigrah, that is the most important thing. All the Niti Shastra, they all say, what is the most important thing? Indriya Nigraha, Indriya Jit, right? So if you have controlled your senses, and I'm not going to go into splitting hairs into what is Atma, what is Buddhi, what is Manas, what is Indriya. Indriya is the senses, Manas is the desiring faculty, Buddhi is the thinking faculty. Faculty, I'm saying, because everything is in the brain ultimately, but we say Dil se chaha. It's not that you're desiring with the heart, but there is a part of the brain that desires, there's a part of the brain that thinks. So it says we are responsible for our own upliftment. Yes, you may have friends and family who think good about you, who care about you. That's very, very important and very good. What if you don't have? What if somebody is not caring about you? Then what? Oh, this life is not worth living it. सब मजनू बन गए या depression में देवदास बन गए and all. So Gita says, don't do that. You have the responsibility for your own upliftment. When you try to uplift yourself, others will also come to help you. But if you just sit there, don't expect others will come and lift you. You also have to put the effort. You also have to do the karma. So, which self is our friend and which self is our enemy? That which is controlled is our best friend. So if you can control your senses, if you control your manas, if you can control your buddhi, that self is your friend, because you will do what should be done, not what you want to do. There's a difference between need and want. Similarly, what you should do and what you want to do is a difference. Best option is when they match. You want to do what should be done is the best situation. Okay? There's no dilemma like that. And what is the worst enemy? Is the uncontrolled self. When your desires run amok, so you have a salary of certain amount, you can only afford a Maruti, but you want a, oh, I don't know what is the cars, I don't even have a car, but you can think of any Toyota or whatever car you want, right? You have no control. Then what will you do? Do something on the side, do some corruption, take some bribe, whatever, because my neighbor has that car, so I also want this. So you have no control on your this thing. Nobody is saying to not fulfill your needs, basic needs, right? So that is the thing. If you control yourself, manas, senses, then you are your best friend. And if you don't need enemies to bring you down. Think of, if you are in a boat and you're steering the boat, people take vacations on a yacht or go in some voyage or whatever ship. You're steering a boat, there's a weather storm coming up. You, as the sailor of the boat, the captain of the boat, you cannot control the weather. You are already out there in the ocean or in the middle of the water. Even though you cannot control the weather, you are still responsible to navigate the boat out to safety, to the shore. That is your responsibility, right? So what does it mean? You will still have to work. As long as you are in the role, you will have to work. You are responsible for that. So do the best that you can. That's all you can do. Don't worry. But there's a difference between worry and concern, right? So if the storm is coming, you as the steering of the boat, you should be concerned, but you should not be worried. Because when you worry, you take part of your mental energy that could be used to do the work. You take some of the mental energy out and start worrying. You start making your own brain tired by worrying. No matter what happens, I would request all of you, does not matter how big is the catastrophe, how big is the problem, emergency में family member, ambulance में भाग रहे, don't worry, because you can't operate. You are not the doctor. What can you do? Take to the hospital as fast as you can. Take to the emergency or to the doctor as fast. That's all you can do. So please never worry. Be fully concerned, aware of the result, but not attached to the results. So now, yatha deepah nivatastha न इंगिते स उपमा स्मृता योगिनः यत चित्तस्य युञ्जतो yogam atmana. So, for example, there is a lamp inside a room, not outside in the balcony. So there's no air moving. That lamp's flame is steady, right? So deepah nivat stha, nivat without air. Vat is air. Nivat stha. So it is situated in a place that has no wind, no air blowing. Na ingate sa na ingate. That means it doesn't move. The flame doesn't move. That is the upama given of the yogina. Yat chitta. The one who has controlled one's one's chitta. That kind of a yogi, he also does not flicker. He also or she also is very stable. So what is this vata in this lamp? Is all the sensory input that you're getting. That is the vata. You see a car, you see a pizza, you see a movie, you see a reel, you see a WhatsApp video. Everything is taking your time and energy. Some of it will take your money also, right? You are distracted 10 places. That is the wind. And your mind, which is the flame, is switching between a WhatsApp video to a phone call to what's going on in the other room. What is that thing? Chai ban gayi kya? Bacche kya kar rahe hain? Whatever. 10 places your mind is running around. And you can't do any of the 10 things properly. Because you start doing one thing, something else. I I know the number of people I know, I can count on my one finger that have disabled notification for apps. This is the biggest thing that happens. In all of us, we have smartphone. We cannot live without smartphone. Agreed. My attitude when I used to go to office would be I go to the office, I turn off the data. That's it. And I've told my family, if it is important, call me on the phone. I'll not check WhatsApp. I'll not check email because I'm at work. I'll turn off the data and put it there. When the data is on also, I have zero notification on anything but SMS and call. I don't have any other apps. I go through the browser on the phone. So if I have WhatsApp, there is zero notification, no, not even a vibrate. Why? Because when I have time, I will decide when I need to look at WhatsApp. Right? WhatsApp should not tell me when should I look at it. I will look at it. So then I have no disturbance. All these group chats happening with colleagues and whatever is, it's not important. If you have a group, WhatsApp group of work, that's a different story. Then you should only check that. And the easy way out is put all the chats that are not necessary groups in archive mode. You will not see it on the first page. And only your work groups you put there and you can respond. So the point here was all these things are what are disturbing our mind, taking our focus away. There is nothing called multitasking. Okay, there is nothing called multitasking. Yes, you can listen to music while you're walking because they're totally different things. But if you are on the phone, how many times have you told your wife, your children, your colleague, your students, or whoever is side में, "ए, रुको यार, एक बार जरा बात कर रहा हूँ," right? You tell them, keep your volume down. You mute the TV because I'm talking. What happened to multitasking? Because here also voice and understanding, the other thing is also voice and understanding. Brain cannot do multitasking. There is a cost to the brain to switch the context. We have this in computer science also. Your Windows computer is running 5 things. It is actually running only one thing at a time. Modern computers have got 4 CPUs and all that, so then it can run 4 things in parallel. But one CPU can only do one thing at a time. It does it so fast and switches between that, it looks like it is doing parallel. Similarly, when we switch from writing an email response to answering a phone call to seeing that what's in the WhatsApp group, these are all switches, context switch. And you spend a lot of brain energy and time in coming back to it. आप ईमेल लिख रहे हो, कुछ कुछ था, फिर आप इधर डिस्ट्रैक्ट हुए, उधर डिस्ट्रैक्ट हुए, उधर डिस्ट्रैक्ट हुए, you come back to the email, you have to again think for 5 minutes, what was I writing? Nivat stha. Remove distractions from your workspace. Do only one thing that has to be done at that time, and you will do a great job. So a steady mind is like a steady flame of lamp in a windless place. And how does this mindset happen? We're talking about all these great things. Why isn't everybody like this? Right? If it is so easy, everybody should be like this. So it says it is long, continuous, sincere effort. Three things are required. And this is said in Patanjali Yoga Sutra 114. Satu dirghakal nairantriya satkar asevitah dridabhumi. When does it become dridabhumi? Well established, ground is not shaking, solid kab hua, stable kab hua. Dirghakal, duration of practice has to be long. Nairantriya, without break, has to be continuous. And satkar, sincerity. Satkar, done properly. Sat is that of that sadachar and that sat. So now think of it. Today we say psychology and everything. It takes 21 days to form a new habit. All these corporate things and all. I don't know if in university also they have read. It takes 21 days to form a habit. So do something new that you're trying to pick up for 21 days continuously. I had a friend of mine who was much more learned in Sanskrit than I am. And I used to sometimes tell him, shall we start something on this particular work? I want to, engage with you, and we'll do it whenever I have some doubt, I'll ask you or something like that, some particular work, Sanskrit book. I'll say, okay, let's do this. He would say, okay, fine, I will commit to this. But for the first 3 days, you have to do it every day. So I'll say every Sunday we'll do it 1 hour. He said, okay, fine. But the first time we have to do 3 days. You choose Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday, whatever. But I want 3 continuous days. Why? Because that initially that momentum will build. It's very important. It has to be continuous. If you give a break of 1 week every time, you'll lose interest also. You'll have to recap everything. So it has to be long. Anything that you want to develop, whether it is skill, whether it is mindset, whether it is a new habit, whatever. So, for example, a common example everybody has going to the gym. At least in the corporate world, everybody's got gym membership. So you can't say that I'll go once a week and I'll go for 3 months. And I'll sometimes go, sometimes not go. If I'm late, it's okay. If I eat some sweet, it's okay. So neither you are doing it for a long time, nor you are doing it every day, and nor are you doing with full sincerity. There is no benefit. You just gave the money to the gym. Whether it is studying for exams, whether it is learning a new thing, anything. Remember that Dirghakal, Nairantriya, Satkar, Asevita. So the quality of response, right? Why are we talking about this? Because we are on the duty responsibility. So how do we respond to our duty? Malati Gandh Gun Darbhe Naramate Hi Ali. So the Malati Gandh Gun Ali. Ali is the Bhara, bumblebee. Malati Gandh, Malati is the flower. Malati Gandh, the fragrance of the flower. Malati Gandh Gun, the quality of the fragrance of the Malati flower with one who knows. So the bumblebee or the Bhavara who knows the gun of the Gandh of the Malati, na darbhe ramate. That bee does not interest anymore in hovering over grass blades. Because to go to the flower, it has to fly little up, right? But initially, it might be just going to the grass because even grasses, some grasses will have some flowers. Some bumblebee might go there, or the honeybee might go there. But once it gets the taste of the Malati, right? What does it mean? If you have driven a Mercedes Benz, these are the top notch I'm giving, or you have a Sony TV, you cannot go back to a Maruti, or you cannot go back to some Dabba TV or some whatever, the vividness of the Sony TV or a Canon or a Nikon SLR camera, whatever. You can think of whatever is the product and the best in that line. Once you use that, you can't lower your quality. That's what it means. बढ़त बढ़त संपत्ति सलिल मन सरोज बढ़ जाए. As the water of wealth increases, the lotus of desires also keeps on increasing. But when the water of wealth reduces, the lotus does not reduce. You still want the good things only, right? So, how do we bring this in? Raise the bar of your own work. Okay, just like you want the best of the product, let you also give the best of your work, right? Does it delight your customers? Now it could be, your customers are students. I'm sorry to use the word customer, but in a sense, your client, you can say, you are giving something, somebody is receiving. So whatever you are giving, is it delighting the receiver? In IT companies, we have, people write computer code. There are two types of companies. One that sells a product to outside. For example, Microsoft Windows is there, or PowerPoint is there, Zoom is there. So the Zoom company is making it for everybody, external. That code has to be very, very great. so that it doesn't fail. If there's a failure, we can find out and all that stuff. It's very important because you don't know who is going to use it. But there are also software that are written for internal consumption, only within the company, only by the developers. There, they will sometimes say, okay, fine. If a problem, you tell me and I'll take care of it. Big deal. It's not outside. So this was a wonderful, there was a Microsoft big developer, very famous developer was there. He had come to our company and then we were talking about everything. And he said, can you sell your code on the street? That means you're writing code for your internal consumption within your company. That's fine. You think you're a great programmer. But could you sell it to somebody outside? Would somebody buy your code? Is it good enough that it doesn't fail, that it captures, that is well documented, everything? If not, you're not a great programmer. You're just, you know, uh, क्या बोलते हैं, अपने को उल्लू बना रहे हो कि भी बहुत बड़े प्रोग्राम हो गए. What it means is, can you do a good job that your customer, your receiver says, boss, यहीं से लेना है. We all have this, ये वाली मिठाई की दुकान बढ़िया, वहीं से, गुलाब जामुन तो वहीं के बढ़िया है, right? या हल्दीराम, भुजिया तो हल्दीराम का, or whatever it is. I'm not endorsing anything. Idea is, set your standards high. We expect others to do a great job, right? कोहली ने कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिया या whatever, रोहित शर्मा ने ठीक से नहीं प्ले किया, वी आर गिविंग ज्ञान, अरे उसको क्रिकेट खेलना नहीं आता क्या, ऐसा करना वैसा करना, ये वो. एंड आवर ओन गेम, okay, fine, right? So raise your standards high, just like you expect others to.